Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 14th of April. It's the year 2020, or that's what they want us to believe. And Nicholson 1968 has been nice enough to join me. What's up, brother?
Nothing, just crazy times, staying busy, working on another video. It's called Think Again. I'm trying to get that released as soon as possible. I just got some pieces to put and speak to it, and edit it, but quick as I can. So appreciate you having me on, man. It's been hectic.
No worries, brother. Hey, before we get started, real quick, I'm just going to read Psalm 70. I opened the Bible, and that's what I was looking at. I'm going to read this real quick if I can even see the words, because they get smaller as I get older. I don't know why. Psalm 70, King James Version. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O Lord. Let them be ashamed and confounded that seek after my soul. Let them be turned backward and put to confusion that desire my hurt. Let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that say, Aha, aha. Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. And let such as love thy salvation say continually, let God be magnified. But I am poor and needy. Make haste unto me, O God. Thou art my help and my deliverer, O Lord. Make no tarrying. In Jesus' name I pray. I don't know what that means exactly. Like I said, I opened it. There it was. Nick, what's your thoughts on that? You're good like that. You taught me all this crap, all this stuff. I shouldn't say crap. It's how I talk. Whatever. Everybody's freaking out.
It's, there's so much coming at us on this thing. And, I'm starting to, I used to have digital. I have my own Bibles, and I have, on the iPad. But, I like to just kind of get the old Bible and read from the book, kind of thing, touch it, feel it kind of thing. So, it's some good stuff. There's a lot of things in there that is just not taught correctly. And I don't know why people just don't see it for what it is, but it's getting a little I think it's getting a lot of attention of people who don't know what I do in my personal life. They're really starting to start reading the Bible and questioning, wait a minute, things that we've heard over the years doesn't sound so crazy anymore. Things are coming together, especially when we go into talking about digital money and currency and vaccines that might have to take them, may be forced, may not, whatever it may be. Some of that stuff they've heard talks of. Yeah.
Lots of people are coming around because they're not letting go of this. They're not. A lot of people, in my opinion, just from looking at the comments, etc., a lot of people are saying this is just a test. This is not a test. They're stringing us along. We're sending you a check. Don't worry about that. We're going to release things pretty soon. Don't worry about that, etc., etc. Since the beginning of this, since this really, to me, the D-Day for this whole coronavirus hoax was February. It was Friday the 13th at 3:33 when Trump said national emergency. I was already in a state. I had just arrived home from Big Sib's house. I was already in a state that had declared an emergency, a state of emergency, yet we had no deaths. As soon as Trump said that, and then Bill Gates stepped down, I got out of Dodge. But here's the deal. 30 days exactly later, they finally get the 50th state. Your browser has blocked your screen, the screen icon, and your address. Oh, I'm not in Google. I'm in Firefox. This sucks. Oh, Nick, we're going to have to wing it, dude. I can't screen share at all.
You can't screen share at all?
Maybe, you know what? How about this?
If you want me to
Finish your thought, and I'm going to swap over to Google and see if I can do this without losing the live stream.
Let me share this. Those out there.
I'm not shutting it down. Talk as long as you want.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, and those out there who think that Trump's the savior, that they're saving little kids in tunnels, all of this stuff. I mean, you just hear all of this stuff. I mean, it's a lot of information, but this is not a test, guys. And what I mean by that, they want two things from this. Definitely. Here's what I know. Digital currency is coming.
Oh, boy. You still there?
I'm still here.
All right, hold on. Here I am. We switched it over. We didn't lose it. My bad, guys. We're still live?
Yep.
All right, go ahead, Nick. We're good.
Okay. One thing that's going to happen is digital currency is coming, guys. And I'm going to read you something. They put it in the stimulus bill and then they backed it out because it's like Richie's told you, I've told you, everybody. They put it there and go, let's see how they react. Let's look at the algorithms. Whatever. And if it isn't the quite time just yet, they'll roll it. Okay. But I'm going to read something to you right now. This is for those out there that's never heard of NetSense. Okay. NetSense declares readiness. This was announced April 6th. NetSense declares readiness for expected U.S. Federal Reserve digital dollar. Okay. NetSense, for those who don't know who NetSense is, NetSense, let's see, I'm trying to explain it in layman's term. They're like a disruptive cryptocurrency payment technology company that they do central banking digital currency. They're currently working with central bank digital currency, CBDC. I'll try to share all these links in my video that I'm working on. And I'm going to just read from their webpage, netsense.com. NetSense jumped into action as soon as it learned of the plans of the U.S. Congress made to legislate for the U.S. Federal Reserve digital currency as part of the two different versions of the first COVID-19 stimulus bill. Ultimately, this aspect of the legislation wasn't included in the final version of the first stimulus bill, but the board and advisors of NetSense have agreed that the digital dollar will be included in subsequent legislation. Okay, guys? I mean, that's the thing. It is coming. Digital currency is going to come, and digital vaccines are going to come. ID 2020 is going to come. I'm sharing other stuff in the video I'm coming out with Dakota Grenard's her name. She's the executive of ID 2020. And what they're going to push, like anything, is NetSense is CENTS, Richie. They're going to push it as there's 1.1 million or billion people on the face of the earth that have no identity, no bank account. Listen to what I'm saying, a bank account, that they can take care of these programs and take advantage of these programs. The only way they can take advantage of these programs is a digital ID, bank accounts, all of the stuff. It's rolling out. Okay, now notice you've got ID 2020 over here that's pushing for bank accounts and a digital identity. Meanwhile, you have what's going on with NetSense and the central banking systems all over the world, which central banks, as you know, are not part of any government. That's why they're called central banks. The Federal Reserve Bank is not federal. They're made up of bankers, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, old money. Some of them we don't even know because it's never been audited. Never, not once. It was asked, legislation was put in to audit them for Greenspan when he was in. Bernanke got shot down.
Ron Paul sent that through, didn't he?
Do what?
Was it Ron Paul that sent that through for the audit?
Yep, you're right.
I remember that.
Okay, so you've got a central banking system or whatever pushing for digital currency, and you've got ID 2020. They want, notice what it is. They want everybody accounted for on the face of the earth digitally, tracked, everything you buy, sell, everything. Cash is going away, guys. I don't know how soon, but that's part of the next agenda. This is not a test. All of this was run to get to this point, and then the vaccines are coming too. Because me and Richie and other people too, months ago, somebody asked on the live stream, what do you think the next move is to get to the mark of the beast? And what did we say?
Exactly. Verbatim.
The cash is dirty. It's contaminated. Even though we've used it for hundreds of years, guys.
Right. And the funny thing, Nick, I don't know. I think we talked about this. I just want to interject this real quick.
Yeah, whatever. Go,
the
brother.
first thing they do is they try to run the digital dollar through and then let it back off. And people are like, well, it didn't pass. It's like, that's them testing the waters, period. But the first major entity was the United States military to send it out to all their branches. Will no longer be accepting that for all the different things you can buy in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, because the coronavirus can last on dollars and coins for an undetermined amount of time. So just, it was spot on, man. Spot on. Go ahead, brother.
That's how they, and you have to just look, I'm not all knowing. I just know patterns, and Richie knows patterns. And, you know,
I know people that know patterns. And
yeah. So, you know, that, you know, where I work, and people that have, I'm not going to say it now, but some people have watched older streams. They know where I work. I saw patterns 3 months ago. That's why I contacted Richie 3 months ago and shared some things about the FDA going after Purell before it even was even.
That was like a crystal ball, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like, okay, something's up. The FDA is trying to get things removed that Purell can kill the coronavirus, even though it passed their test, you know, flying colors. It's even less, you know, the chemists there, doctors on site, nurses at Gojo Purell out of Akron, Ohio, they'll tell you H1N1, swine flu, all of the stuff that they put their formulations together to kill the coronavirus is nothing compared to this older stuff. It's nothing. They can't even get over. I mean, they're happy they're making money. They're selling hand sanitizer like crazy. But
here's the deal. I'm catching so much flack from the trolls. We picked up another 200 dedicated trolls, and I get it. No offense. I'm good with it. But I had you on at your own detriment. People don't seem to understand this is for real. You came out and put yourself out there and said, listen, you showed that Purell and the Purell scientists, which this is all they do, is make things that kill germs. And they're the first ones to say, wash your hands, bueno. And instantly, watch this. Once this information's out, the next day, the FDA is going to show up attacking Purell. And like clockwork, they did. Boom. And we've had doctor after doctor either come on or just go on the internet or the mainstream saying the exact same thing. Like this, none of this makes any sense. And yet it still continues. And they're going to drag it out to at least May.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, is the Army, National Guard going to come knocking at your door tomorrow? Probably not. But remember, we said this before, that what they really want out of this right now, digital currency, so they can, and a digital vaccine ID 2020. So everybody's tracked. And think about this, the 6 foot social distancing, when you have tracking equipment, when you're in a cluster of people, it's hard to do face recognition when you're clustered together. Get it, folks. That's why they want the distance for tracking. That's what it is. And here's the other thing. Do I think they're pulling back? No, I don't think they're pulling back. I just think they're moving forward with the agenda. They know how far they can push it. And here's the thing. Say 6 months from now, they can do it again. Because if you don't wake up, folks, and most of the people who are watching here are pretty awake. I'm not talking to you per se, but people that the mainstream that have no clue what we're talking about. Every 6 months, it's just like it's the perfect storm. It's the invisible boogeyman switch. They can switch on anytime they want again to get us to go in our houses, do what, I mean, it is so crazy. Here's another thing, switching gears, talking about common sense. Look, I'm not the smartest guy in the room by by no means. But let me just tell you, Amazon, and this is, you can look it up, people. That's the other problem is some of the stuff that we're saying, look it up while you can, because the internet will probably go down. I mean, it's getting there.
It's definitely getting there. It ain't getting any easier to use. I've gotten a copyright strike and video takedowns all week, every day, no matter what. Copyright strikes, 4 takedowns.
Right. So common sense. Look, I'm just a redneck with a laptop. Richie's an asshole with the laptop. He always says, "I'm a redneck with a laptop."
And Mike's mountain trash with a desktop.
That's right. So here's the thing: you've got multiple websites by the government for unemployment, people trying to get unemployment, and they're telling you that they can't get in. Weeks on end, it's crashing. They can't keep up with all of the demand. Are you kidding me? Really? Here, just do the numbers. Okay, the first week that they applied for unemployment, 3.3 million went down. That went down for the count. 3.3 million. Okay, that's what they reported. Okay, if you look up internet website traffic, Amazon is number one. Number one. Okay. Number one, that's fine. They have 6.8 million people that come there every day. Let me ask you something, Richie. If you ever go to Amazon, have you ever been on Amazon and it's down or it crashed? No. It runs like smooth butter. Okay. So Amazon is taking on
butter.
It's smooth as butter. 6.8 million people a day. And the government's telling me that they can't keep a website up and it's crashing. And if everybody, think about this, if everybody that got unemployed, 3.3, that's half of what Amazon, if they all went on, what government, you need to be talking to Amazon. You need to be talking to Walmart. Walmart's second, okay? Home Depot's third, and they're all above it. Their websites are not crashing. It's order out of chaos, folks.
Indeed. How many times leading up to this, not knowing this event was coming whatsoever, did we constantly, me, you, Big Sib, Ark, everybody, it's the externalization of the hierarchy. They were showing it and showing it and showing it and watching and waiting and watching and waiting. Yeah. And they pulled this off like boom, and they're not going to release this. Trump today says he's made a secret panel, a council to see if we could reopen America. 6 people, one of them's his wife, the other one's his son-in-law, who everyone thinks is the Antichrist anyways. And then he's doing a live stream right now where he said, we're going to start talking to governors, and some states may open as soon as May 1st. So it's already pushed 16 days away. It's all they keep doing, away. Meanwhile, they're still assembling. And meanwhile, we're still hearing none of this is going back to normal whatsoever at all until everyone's been tested and everyone's been vaccinated and everyone can prove it. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's all they're doing. Let me show you this real quick because I want everyone to see this. This is the state of Wyoming, all right? The state of Wyoming right here. And this is their coronavirus numbers. Are these showing? They are. Okay. 282 confirmed cases of coronavirus, 164 recovered, 1 death. Remember these numbers. Now look at these amazing numbers all over the United States. Every day the death number goes up by another 5-6 grand. It's easy enough. Now let's take a look at this news article that's gonna show you that tomorrow those numbers in Wyoming will jump exponentially because they've only had 1 death. The CDC has deployed a team to Wyoming to supplement existing efforts. So you know that number is going to skyrocket. And here's another thing that people may or may not know. I did not know. I tried to get Deborah Tavares on tonight, but I lost her someplace in emails. I'm sure she's very busy, but she said she would come on. Nick, I didn't know the CDC was a completely privately owned company. A completely privately owned company. So that's like Pepsi. Pepsi-Cola just decided to shut down the entire world. It's not even a government entity whatsoever at all. It's a for-profit, just like the Federal Reserve, once again. And these guys, doctors are going on the mainstream saying we're getting paperwork from the CDC saying list everybody as COVID-19, no matter what. So why do you think the numbers went through the roof? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's unbelievable to me. And you work in this field. What did I just do to Nick? My bad. I'm a dick. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a lot of buttons and stuff going on here.
Yeah.
You work in this field. COVID-19 is without a doubt an actual disease. But just like I told you in the beginning, and it was never my opinion, it was a medical professional that said COVID's a disease. It's a flu. It's a mild flu. Just like you said as well. I wouldn't worry about COVID-19. It's not a big deal. Your body will fight it right off, no problem. H1N1, all these other things. They just took a random disease or a random virus that everyone actually has in their body anyway and said it's deadly. It's the perfect storm, and people are buying it hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, and it's follow the leader too. There's people that just won't, it's just out of control. It shows you the power of social media, the power of television. Now,
without a doubt.
Look, folks, let me tell you something. The government doesn't want to give anything free. Now, remember this? They wanted to do away with, remember years ago, they wanted to do with the three biggies, they wanted everything to go digital. They were giving coupons for free TVs, all of this stuff, so everybody can have a free TV, a way to watch TV. It's like a free flu shot. Look, an lobotomy is free. I don't want one. Okay. Right. That's what I'm saying. You got to think, why are they giving me a free TV? Why are they giving me a free flu shot? Do they really want to help me? Look,
I believe we found the patents to back up what you're about to say. Television is a weapon, and it's being wielded. It's worse than a nuclear. It's worse than any doomsday thing we could ever think of ever. It's unbelievable, man. But don't worry, they're going to send you a check, so it's all good. It's coming.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's a little carrot. A little bit.
There you go. A little
carrot.
And
that is it. It is it. And, changing the subject, of a little bit, just to share language and things that are out there that people just don't even know about this. I'm going to share this with you. In the stock market, did you know, in the stock market, okay, remember what we're talking about ultimately behind everything, and you agree with me, is satanic. That's ultimately who your enemy is. Everything else in front of that is a distraction. But when you get behind everything, what's up, Mike? When you get behind it, it's all about Satan and the fallen angels. Okay. Did you know in the stock market right now, people call them junk bonds, but do you know when a A-rated company or corporate companies drop their ratings, you know what they're called? What kind of bonds they're called? Fallen angels.
What?
Yep, look it up. It's all in front of you. It's all in front of you. And also, if you look up on the money, most of all of the money all the central banks in the world on the money. I've got the video towards the end. The Euro constellation. It's the Orion belt, which is also referred to the Nephilim belt, which is from the fallen. It's on every single currency across the world. Euro constellation. It's embedded in their little. You can see it, and you can look it up. Go to Euro constellation. It's on all the money, and that's what I'm saying. If fallen angels didn't exist, if this didn't exist, and all this stuff, where does all this come from? You have to understand central banks, all of this stuff. It's all connected, guys. It's just connecting the dots, man, and doing the research, not being lazy and let somebody else do it for you. It's okay to watch other people like I do or whatever, and Richie does too, and we put things on shelf, take things with a grain of salt. I'm not all knowing, but man, when you start looking at the 40,000 foot picture instead of down on the ground, and I've said it before, there's people that are making jelly. There's people that are making peanut butter over here, and there's people making bread. And they just think they're making bread. They have no idea. But the people up at the top, they know what they're making. They're making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What's going on right now is they're making a new world order, putting all the pieces together, digital money, digital ID, digital vaccines, and it'll all start connecting soon.
It's crazy. I've never, when we talked about Jordy Rose stepping away from D-Wave, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this doesn't even make sense. D-Wave hasn't been around long enough for him to walk away. And then he threw us a curve where he said, I'm going to go focus all my time and energy on building robots that are indistinguishable from humans. I got stuck on that and didn't realize D-Wave is clearly up and running because we're watching it right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you, for instance, because someone in the chat just asked, and it's actually the reason I did this live stream. Ever since Friday the 13th, when this whole episode started, I'm sure you've heard it. Mike's heard it. I have gotten, I'm going to say, thousands of people saying, Richie, Donald Trump doesn't have the presidential seal. And I kept thinking about it. And yep, that's cool. That's one thing, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody from the Mashpee Indian tribe sent me this. And I'm going to show this to you real quick because I showed this in the video I put up last night, I believe, right here. This isn't off the internet. This is real. This is from the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. And it says right here, this is an internal letter to the tribe, as you can see by the letterhead, etc. I left links for it. I'm going to put it in the chat right now.
All right.
But basically, it says that on the 27th of March in the year 2020, the Secretary of the Interior of the United States of America approached them and said, on Friday, March 27th, 2020, the Secretary of the Interior notified the Mashpee tribe that he has ordered the disestablishment of the tribe's reservation, an act that would take Mashpee's tribal homelands out of trust status. This action is being taken despite Interior's prior commitment that no such action, blah, 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 blah. When I saw that and saw what was going on and saw the troop movements and all this stuff just going on, and the stock market's fine and everything's good and Trump's up there talking and there's no presidential seal, it led me to the conclusion that this is it. They've done it. Trump has stepped down and this girl has caught him basically saying it. So for this entire time, Trump has not had the presidential seal, and then one of the presidential seal flags behind him was gone. In preparation for this live stream, I go to pull that up, and the president, after the video I put up yesterday, which in less than 24 hours got 260,000 views on my channel alone, and everybody shared it. Yeah. Magically, Trump's doing a live stream right now with the presidential seal back in place and the flag back in place. But I still firmly believe that we're under a national state of disaster, which has never happened in the history of the United States. No president would ever want that on his legacy, but Trump pushed for it. Wyoming was the last state to finally give it up because, you know, disaster doesn't have to be deaths. Unemployment will help you with money. Our entire country is now under FEMA control, and that's just a fact. This woman showed how many videos over the years have we shown, hey, look at these executive orders that are now laws. Yep. The government can take everything. They can shut off your water. They can take your food that you're saving. They can take everything, and it's not against the law. All that is on the table right now. But I find it strange that a video that goes viral collectively on a bunch of YouTube channels, magically, after all this time, the presidential seal is back in place, all is well, and Trump is no longer funding the World Health Organization, even though that's a complete and utter lie, because the World Health Organization did a stream today and said, well, you can't let go of states. You got to keep it. This thing is 10 times more deadly than the disease in 2009, and it's spreading exponentially. Well, apparently Wyoming didn't fall for it. So they're going to send a CDC team. And I bet you by tomorrow, the deaths, I'll probably have COVID. It's going to go through the roof.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean,
this is a spiritual battle, brother. This is off the hook. Did you hear Trump saying a horrible, horrible, horrible black monster has cast a spell?
A spell, yeah.
These people, dude, you know that when you speak in front of an audience of your peers, you have everything prepared. when the president of the United States, who's up there constantly doing this, constantly, he can't stop doing this. He's up there saying a horrible black monster has cast a spell on the nation. The only thing to me that makes sense that everyone's buying this after all this time, all these doctors coming forward saying this is just a regular cold. Nothing like this should ever be done. And then all the changes, all the things that are happening, it's just absolutely insane.
It is.
I do believe that a spell's been cast, Nick.
Oh, yeah, it's witchcraft, all right. You know, it's magic. And people that don't believe in magic, I tell you what, magic does exist. Magic is magic for those who don't. Where does magic come from? That has to do with the fallen angels, because they were there when the earth was created. When we were created, the angels were there. They saw creation. So all magic is a distortion of God's law. That's all magic is. And what
do you mean when you say it's a distortion of God's law? Can you say that a little dumber for me?
Okay. Call it what you want. There's certain things that what you do come to pass because God put those in motion. God's put things a certain way. Like, I mean, I don't know how to say it other than just they know there's certain things that we don't know right now that's way beyond us that create like frequencies, tones, things that we're not taught about. Do you see what I'm saying? They know. That's why the demonic are in a different realm per se, and they won't in this realm. And in order to get into this realm, they have to change their frequencies to. I mean, let me take that back. For right now, whether people even see, this is what's great about God. Whether you don't believe him or not, he's protecting you. Even if you don't, if you're not, if you're neutral, you've still made a choice. And there are people, let me just say, there's three types of people. There are people that are worshiping Satan purposely. There's people in the middle that don't want to have to do with either one, good or evil, and they don't even believe in it. And then, of course, there's people that believe in a creator. Okay. So the people in the middle are still being sort of protected because a demonic cannot enter this temple without you inviting them or opening a door. You see, you know what I'm saying? So those are the things that the enemy that we're battling, Ephesians 6:12, principalities in high places. Our battle is not against flesh and blood. Flesh and blood ain't that smart. What God is telling you, what is smart, that is above us, and what I mean by above, not better than, it's just they're from that, and the fallen were there in the angelic host. So
yeah, Nicholson's not a Catholic, just FYI, but thanks.
Whatever. So anyway, that's what I'm saying is they know frequencies. That's why the elite or the secret societies follow Solomon and his teachings. They're all about Solomon. They're not about David. They're all about Solomon because Solomon, the lesser keys of Solomon, he figured out tones and frequencies, how to bind up the angels and demons, all of that stuff, to use them to his advantage. That's what that has to do with.
Thank you. I appreciate that because I don't want to get the email saying, hey, what did he mean? And I'd be like, well, I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not going to lie. Nick's been one of my go-to people for the longest time. So there's that. There you go. Timothy's going to break it down. Nicholson means that magic can be used to manipulate the elements of this world and change the course of a man's life. Well said. Yep. You agree?
I agree that they know things that we don't. We've been dumbed down over thousands of years, whatever it is. You know, it's just, that's the way it is, unfortunately. And
I hear children laughing, Nicholson. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. I hear children laughing. Good for you, brother. Good for you. This is totally unbelievably crazy. And it's amazing to me the amount of excuses people are making for the circumstances we find ourselves in right now. There's no turning the economy back on after this. It's a wrap. They had to do this to do so many things, and they're just dragging it out. Oh, this is going to be over soon. Well, if it's going to be over soon, why did they just declare the entire nation, for the first time in the history of the United States, a disaster area yesterday, 24 hours ago, like finally, oh, it's going to be over. Trump just said, we're going to talk to the governors and they'll all make their individual assessments, but maybe by the 1st of May, or Beltane, because enjoy the next 13 days of sacrifices and everything else. Yep. Exactly. They're going to keep dragging this out. And like somebody just said, I've already got a video. There's more troops rolling into Boston right now because unlike other places, Boston, Massachusetts, you really can't hide troops. So they're there to help and they're continuing to come in. It's totally and utterly crazy. And somebody said in the comments, I saw that too. Somebody said that Obama has been up there without the seal. That's great. Like I said, since Friday the 13th, people have been telling me about the seal. It didn't matter to me until I started seeing the Secretary of the Interior telling Indian reservations, hey, remember that irrevocable trust, the deal you have with the United States of America? It doesn't count anymore. And then Trump handing the whole machine right over to FEMA because that's what declaring a national disaster is. It's now FEMA at the wheel. And all those executive orders that Obama, George W. Bush, all the really bad ones we've all made videos about over the years, they're all up for grabs now. And we have zero rights. And most people know that because they're still sitting in their house after a month. This is insane. They're making up there's drones, people chasing people around. Some people tried to resist by making cardboard signs, and this is the result as of today. Let me see if I can find it.
Ohio, there were Ohio protests today and North Carolina.
And this is the result right here.
Oh, here we go. Yep.
You bet. Like, remember when this first started, I started showing you states were shutting down, and then right after the states were shutting down, laws were coming out to enforce these things. You can't stand within 6 feet of a person. In Beverly, Massachusetts, you can't. Everyone has to walk one way on one side of the street, one way on the. It's like kindergarten, and they're just making up rules, and Americans don't seem to be outraged about it.
No,
people are angry, but they should be. It should be China. It should be Africa. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely unbelievable to me, man. But there it is.
I mean, it is, and it's sad. It's sad to me when I look around. I go out from time to time, go to the grocery store. I mean, it's sad. I mean, not that I'm better than or anything like that. It's just it's laziness. They're more worried about what their Kardashians are doing than what's going on. I mean,
and it's dude, yourself, hundreds and thousands of YouTube channels over the years have explained to them what the TV, what all the satanic symbolism, what all the celebrities were tricking people into believing. But it took so long that everyone got accustomed to it, and that's what they're doing right now. Yep. Everyone's sitting around waiting to see what's going to happen. Meanwhile, time goes on, laws are passing, things are happening, troops are getting into place, and everybody's just sitting around. The economy's not getting any better. The rest of the world's watching us. America was supposed to be this gun behind every blade of grass. Now you have a patriot behind every roll of tissue paper. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. You'd think after all this time, you'd start researching for yourself. People that weren't on the mainstream, actual MDs, and you'd find out that COVID's nothing that's going to kill you whatsoever at all. And you'd start finding out things like this, that the CDC is literally sending this to all the doctors to the point it ended up on the mainstream.
Yep.
Telling them, this is the CDC right here, cdc.gov. Coronavirus 19 should be reported on the death certificate for all descendants where the disease caused or is assumed to have caused or contributed to death. Other terminology, e.g. SARS-CoV-2, can be used as long as it's clear that it indicates the 2019 corona strain, but we would prefer to use World Health Organization standard terminology, e.g. COVID-19.
See the comment? You see the comment? Again? Yeah, you see the comment? It's fluoride.
He's right.
He's right because it's the calcification of the
pineal.
Pineal is. You're right, and I haven't had fluoride. I don't drink water. This is right here, alkaline water. I use toothpaste that has no fluoride in it. Maybe, so.
I drink, I carry, it takes forever to carry 10 gallons of defluoridated water through a big Berkey, but I do it every time before I hit the road.
Yeah.
Here's one other thing. I've got my emails whittled down to doctors, nurses, people that I know send good information, soldiers, retired military, DOD, FEMA, everybody sending information. It's crazy. One of my retired tank commanders or tank crewmen sent me this the other day because I kept saying they moved to stage 2, where they're now saying, if you don't wear a mask in public, we're going to fine you or drag you off a bus by your foot or blah, blah, blah. It's brilliant because people are looking around going, okay, it's been a month. If there's a pandemic, my neighbor should be dead, the guy at the gas station, and that's not the case because it's all smoke and mirrors. But now you see all your neighbors going around with masks on. It reinforces the lie. It's brilliant. And all the cameras, the entire Skynet is watching, so they can see who's being a good sheep, how much more they've got to push it. And then the tank commander said one more thing that it just blew me and Mike away. We're both infantrymen. It'll make it a hell of a lot easier for a soldier to shoot somebody when you can't see their face and they're wearing a mask. It completely, it's brilliant. It's Jade Helm D-Wave. Everything is multifaceted, exactly like we always thought it would be. But it's crazy watching it occur. So,
I mean, and I, some of the YouTube channels that I used to watch over the years, I'm surprised that they're not even.
Oh my goodness! Hold on, I got to block.
I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just saying I thought that they would be more seeing what's coming as far as the digital currency.
It was the first thing. Instantly was the money, because that's why they were running up the national debt, like a bunch of fat people at an all-you-can-eat buffet that were never going to pay the bill because they're never going to pay the bill.
Yeah, and they can just keep giving you money. You think that's a good thing, folks? Okay, I understand it. But do you understand what's going on? When they give us $2 trillion, put 2 more trillion on the stack, your kids and your kids and their kids, you'll never pay back the central banking system. And they do it that way on the Rothschilds, Rockefeller. It's been done this way for hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Check this out. Greg Manarino, he's been on YouTube as long as we have, or almost as long as you have, I think. He covered this. The first thing they did is they destroyed the dollar, and now they're just letting the dollar in your pocket still worth something because they still need it to be. But they're already explaining to you that food is becoming a shortage because of the COVID pandemic. They're already telling cattle farmers, milk farmers, vegetable farmers, every type of farmer, stop growing your crops because they're preparing for a food shortage. And Kissinger's back. The original dude that says control the food, control the people. Kissinger,
he's still alive?
I didn't know either. He looks like Jabba the Hutt, kind of.
Yeah, I think he's 105 or something. I don't know.
Well, drinking children's blood, like they recommend, is apparently really good to use.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe he's still alive.
He's back. I get the context, do you?
Some of the stuff he says, Kissinger said, I'm surprised he's not assassinated. I mean, this guy's Bill Gates. Bill Gates has got to be, right now, Bill Gates better have some bodyguards. That's all I got to say.
Oh, he does. He lives in a $147 million house that happens to be 66,000 square feet. But that's just a coincidence. 33 cases of coronavirus. Me and Mike made a slight prediction that when they were getting ready to soften people up, just to bring them down one more, they were going to start using weather as a weapon. They weren't doing it forever for no reason. Down south just got its ass handed. Category 5, Cat 5 tornadoes, left, right, and center. 33 people died. 33 counties affected. 33 cases of coronavirus. They can't help but use this constantly.
Yeah, there was one guy talking, they were interviewing him, and he goes, how old are you? And he goes, I'm 33. And
of course he is. A 33-year-old man was arrested by police for violating the social distancing while playing ball with his daughter. The 33-year-old man was playing ball with his 6-year-old daughter. And I'm like, Mike, you noticing that absolutely everything is 33, 44, 22, 11, 6, or 3, 2, 2.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Oh yeah,
crazy.
they're on this, and they're not going to let go. They can't
Here's
shut
what's
this
funny.
down twice.
Well, check this out. Remember they announced the first layoffs or the unemployment was 3.3. Okay. The next week was 6.6, 66. I mean, come on, guys. I mean,
Right.
it's so, you know, I don't know what else to say. It's in your face, folks, you know.
This guy Brad makes a good point, and I've never trolled other channels. I've never gone to other channels and left comments. I have been trolling like a freight train because I'm watching all the big gun channels, all the big prepper channels, all the big, you know, outdoor guys just uploading videos like nothing's going on. It's like, hey guys, remember the event you've been warning all your subscribers about? It's here. It came in the side door. It's a pandemic. It's a mild cold. COVID-19, according to several of the doctors I've interviewed thus far, COVID-19 is simply an exosome that's already in your body, and it's supposed to be, its job is to fight viruses. According to the CDC, this exosome that's good for you is COVID-19.
Yeah.
How did we completely, I mean, if this is a fraud, then all the tests are going to show false negatives or false positives. The first batches, all of them are contaminated with COVID-19. That's just what are the odds of that in a million years?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, man, this is brilliant because it's an invisible boogeyman.
Mike, how many times have I said the word? It's brilliant. It is brilliant.
Because see, people are just like everything. And here's my example. People are expecting the devil or Satan or whatever to show up looking a certain way, guys. And it's not. And here's the thing that's brilliant about the COVID-19. Number one, you can't see it. And number two, people are not medical doctors, so they have to trust other people for that. Just like this. Look, there's things that I know, but I don't know how to work on my car. So I have to trust my mechanic. I really can't work on my car. That's just one of my weaknesses.
It happens.
So you have to trust other people. Whereas a martial law army storming the beaches, all of these gun-toting people and YouTubers, they were expecting that. They didn't. This pandemic is sneaking up on them. They're missing it right now. It's right in front of us, guys, and they're going to use this to their advantage. Digital currency, digital vaccines. I mean, think about this, guys. Y'all got to think about this. What if tomorrow, a grocery store or something says we're putting up scanners, and if you don't have a digital vaccine, you can't come in and buy groceries.
You can bet that's coming because the grocery store here in the middle of Wyoming with an incredibly small population, instantly all the we don't have enough masks for first responders. Where's a medical shortage? But I'll tell you what, those social distancing floor stamps, those were printed, manufactured, shipped, and installed, boom, like that. But it wasn't a plan. And now they've gone one step, no pun intended, one step further. Not only can you not stand 6 feet away from another person, now you have to walk down the aisles, single file, one way.
I'm looking for something real quick. Hang on.
Have at it, brother. You have the video of these doctors? Well, yeah, go through all my last videos. Every one of them references the doctors because that's our biggest weapon. Dr. Mikovic, Dr. Tenpenny, Dr. Kaufman. I'll put them all together in one video, but I mean, they're all up, as well as the CDC's paperwork with doctors and nurses sending it saying if they break their arm, they probably have COVID. That's why. I mean, it's flagrant. It's totally flagrant.
Yeah.
So there's Nick. Have at it. Have at it.
I'm trying to find the company. I think it's called. They're called M&A Matting. They have, when you go into a supermarket or a Panera or whatever, and they have the big runners of the mats, right? They have the big runner mats that you stand on. Okay, and they're just plain. They may have a logo on it or something. They already had, this was 2.5 months ago, they had runners that had like shoe prints 6 feet apart. They were called social distancing mats. And I wish I could find it, but it's M&A Matting. It's like, are you kidding me?
When was this?
This was M&A matting. They produced prior to it, and they have them. But I didn't. I should have did a video on it, but I didn't. But here's the thing: why would you produce those if you thought this was just going to go away or whatever? Why would you do? I mean, to produce mats that have already the footprints 6 feet apart on runners for social distancing. They were already producing them, and people were buying them before they shut everything down. See, they were selling them to restaurants, groceries, the non-essential thing. So just stuff like that, man. Those are the things I'm talking about. Researching and flags going up is, wait a minute. Just like when you thought, remember about the instrument for the vaccines to sense if you had a vaccine?
The remote. Yep.
You have to think, guys, why would they create that in the first place if there's not something coming? That's what we're talking about here. We're not prophets or whatever. You just got to use a little bit of common sense and, connect the dots a little bit of thinking, of what's going on.
It's crazy how many people are following any trail they can. There's a bunch of doctors on here that are half woke or misdirection. That are acting like if you take this special drug, you can beat this COVID outbreak. And it's like COVID is a mild flu. Yeah. Treat it as you would anything else, but certainly don't isolate yourself in a house watching MSM television with all sports removed so you can focus directly on it, because television is a weapon. You sit there long enough, especially if you're young or very old and susceptible to suggestion, you're watching them tell you about these symptoms. You will start developing them. And you know what I'm saying?
That is so true.
It just keeps ticking, and time just keeps ticking. Wyoming finally tapped out, gave in under the pressure. Last state to give in. Disaster area. We have one death. The entire state is a disaster. The next day, within 8 hours, everything was different. What was the deal? Stores were keeping their lights down to discourage customers. Stores started putting up the plastic. One door in, putting up the plastic, which is ludicrous, which makes no sense whatsoever. One-way aisles at the supermarket. And now there's a CDC, private corporation. Center for Disease Control is a private corporation and has no business, no pun intended, working and being funded by Bill Gates, and then telling the president to shut down the entire world the way they just did. They're not gonna take their foot off the gas because they can't do this twice. It won't work again. So it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is crazy, and people don't want to see. I understand it. They're grasping at
hope,
rabbit trail.
Anything.
Trump's draining the swamp. I mean, I've heard it all. I mean, it's like, and I'm going to tell you something. After this is all done, if we get to even do whatever, but I mean, all of these people that were telling you that, you need to unsubscribe. I mean, I'm sorry, you're wasting.
I don't think you'll have to unsubscribe. I think it'll be a wrap. But this video is right now in Massachusetts. They can't hide trucks in Massachusetts like they do in Michigan and Wisconsin. They're still rolling into Boston. Those are troop carriers. Those aren't medical trucks. And there's more than one. He's behind a convoy. I shut the volume off because he's freaking out. Whoever sent me this, I appreciate it, but he is kind of freaking out.
But aren't the military supposed to be at a cease? They're not supposed to be moving, right?
Well, it's a strange cease. It's a strange cease. If you read about it, they're not moving anything. But if you listen to the comments and the people grasping for straws, all these trains moving all at the same time all around the country, and now we're actually finding them hidden in quarries, abandoned quarries. We actually did a Google search and found the exact address. So I'm expecting a government agent to show up here to help us anytime soon, because we're kind of ratting them out at every chance we get. Is Trump still the president? I don't believe so. I'm fairly certain he's given it up. I find it really strange. All this time, there's White House, the flag's gone. A video comes up from a small YouTube channel. It goes viral. The very next day, there it is all over again. Nothing to see
I
here,
mean,
folks.
actually, no conspiracy. According to the laws, if the president declares a national
Is
disaster,
what I'm saying.
it's handed over to FEMA. I mean, there's no.
He's not the president. And then he actually gave a speech. This woman caught it. I never heard it because I don't watch this crap. He said, "It's been great being your president, you guys." And then he said it in the past tense. The video's up. It's getting ridiculous views.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I saw that. I actually downloaded
She
it. Just
caught it, man.
I had the physical one just to have it, to use it in the future or just to share with people if it goes offline, kind of thing, because everybody around me has no clue.
Me, dude, same.
I mean, I'm ready for it. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be this way, coming this way. I thought it was going to be, I still think though, Richie, that technology has to go a little further on some ultimate stuff. I think they're putting some stuff they're not pulling their foot off the gas per se. I'm saying the digital currency, the digital ID, the scare tactic to get the vaccine to control everybody. They got to have the vaccine or we're all going to die again.
Right.
Then when it gets past that, go ahead.
We were just talking about this today, how every insider has always told us that their technology is 30, 40, 50 years ahead of us. So there's that. I don't think they would have pulled this if the ID 2020 wasn't ready. He named the company ID 2020. He steps down Friday the 13th. I think they're just going to keep carrot and sticking people along till they just finally say, okay, we can let you out, but you got to have this vaccine.
Right.
Whether you know what it is or not, they're going to win because they're doing it already. And the mainstream's the one that's saying COVID-19 is affecting food. And we're already out here. You can't buy whatever you want. You're limited to 2.
Look at this. This is my point right here. I mean, I'm not talking. She says, why did they hand it over to Trump? Why did Trump hand it over to FEMA?
Because
it's executive orders. It's stuff they put in place. It's not something that Richie thought of. It's nothing I've thought of. This is stuff that is out there. Information is there, guys.
We've been showing it for years.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why we're in the state we're at right now. And the elites know this. They know it, Richie. There's only a few people.
They're watching this at all times. Watching this at all times. A video goes viral. Everyone's asking you about the seal. Somebody finally puts it together in 8 minutes. It's amazing. We put it up and 1 million views easy that I know of in less than 24 hours all over the internet. The next day, everything's back to normal. They're going to keep stirring the pot, and that drags everyone back. Oh, those guys were all wrong. That's not real. When the Secretary of the Interior of the United States is telling Indian reservations that irrevocable trust that we've had since we built the United States off of it originally, since we helped you with your land, that's a big tell right there.
That's a big tell. And when you've got people like Bill and his wife, Bill Gates and his wife.
Bill and Mel. Mel's a good-looking fella.
Yeah.
If you look close, Mel's a good-looking guy.
And you've got people when they're using language like our global citizens need to. When you're I'm going to tell you something else. I got to take this. I'm going to bring this back. Did you ever see the trailer for the United States Navy? It was probably 7 years ago. They were doing a big push for the United States Navy, and the opening it said U.S. Navy, a global force.
I remember that.
3 days later, they took the whole thing down.
Zendrius or somebody did a video on that. It's the only reason I know.
They did. So when you got language being used like that, global force. What are you talking about? Global force. The U.S. Navy is supposed to be supporting the U.S., not global force for policing.
We could go on for 2 hours with all the main players talking about this is a global problem. It's global. It's global. It's global. It's global. They won't stop with this. America wasn't a problem. She's waking up a little bit. attractive middle-aged women are protesting and the police are showing up hitting them with sticks for their own safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The people that would actually be helpful right now are buying the bullshit. They're thinking it's Q. They're thinking it's Trump. It's the swamp. The disease is real, even though
it's
you're right. Turn the television off. There is no disease.
I've even heard he's going after pedophiles now.
I know.
And the kids in the tunnels. I'm like, okay.
Here's the deal. If we wanted to take out some elites that were doing things wrong, you don't have to shut down the world. They could do it. Nobody would even know. And once again, the military is still flying in formation in helicopters below building roof levels in California while all this is ceased. They're still drilling right now. So apparently somebody got picked up, but it's going to. Trump is friends with Epstein. Bill Gates has been taking pictures with Epstein. Epstein ran a child pedophile ring. It's not a secret. These people are all in it. They're all compromised. They're all dead. How do you become a billionaire twice in America? You have to F over everyone you've ever met. How many lives did he destroy? Why would he even be president, dude? Why would he even be president?
Right.
Makes no sense, man.
It is. I mean, it's so crazy. But, the bigger the craziness, the harder it is to believe a conspiracy. I have to say that. It's so people don't think a conspiracy can fool so many people. And it's serious.
Without a doubt.
Same thing with Hitler.
Doubt.
Hitler came into power, folks. You need to do your research of how he came into power. Just like 9/11. After 9/11 happened, got you walking through little turnstiles in the airport like cattle, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking all over invisible boogeymans. I mean, and y'all, whatever. And remember, we told other people, told you what 9/11 was not about bin Laden, an old man in a cave on a walkie-talkie. But here's the thing too. Let's just say here's how crazy it is. Let's just say bin Laden, it happened the way they said. That should scare you even more that an old man in a cave and some people with box cutters crashed into the Twin Tower, into the Pentagon. That should scare you even more. How protected are you?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Flip it. Okay, say that's what happened. That should scare you more. But that didn't happen. But anyway, I'm just saying.
It amazes me how people that are supposed to be smart, people that I know that have master's and bachelor's degrees. Okay, so the whole story happened the way they said it. How in the world did Osama bin Laden, a literal CIA asset, his family was the only one that got flown out of the States when all the planes were grounded? That's just a coincidence. How did he defy physics? How did he suspend the law of physics and make those two buildings come down as fast as if there were no buildings under there? It's not possible, dude. How did they burn down? We were just talking about this today. How did they burn down Notre Dame, the Church of Notre Dame, so that the steeple falling literally matched I Pet Goat, which had been out for 7 years? That's magic. It's black magic. It's literally real stuff.
It's real stuff.
Powers and principalities, man. You think it's a coincidence that every single thing you use in your house has a power button with the sigil on it that matches the exact boardroom of the United Nations? Look at the United Nations. It is a power button. And it's also a demon that allegedly has the feather of the Archangel Michael. And his name escapes me right now. This is bigger than absolutely everything, man. It's totally crazy. Deborah Tavares from StopTheCrime.net. She's been on the internet for years. She put out a live stream. I sped it up a little bit because she speaks slow and people have short attention spans. She laid this all out and she's like, this is it. We've been warning you of this, but they let us warn. They let us warn and they sat back and waited, just like people are doing right now. It's a war of attrition. Wear them out. I know this thing's no good, but I'm still going to get the mark. I'll figure it out some other time. Can't buy, can't sell, can't travel, can't move, can't participate in society. Viola.
Yeah. I mean, it's you can't go back from this. Things are going to change, and it's going to be more control, and they've got you scared of the boogeyman, invisible boogeyman. People are looking for Russia, China, whatever. No, they got you scared of a imaginary virus. No, granted, COVID-19 is a real thing, but it's a mild flu, like Richie said.
Mild flu.
That's a fact, Jack. I mean,
Yep.
you look it up, you look your research up on it.
Unfortunately, nobody, after all this time, you can, but their pride and their ego and the automatic conspiracy. That guy thinks 9/11 didn't happen. What a jerk. What a jerk. Of course, two planes can take down 3 buildings, including the fact that the 3rd building was the strongest building on the face of the earth. It was housing El Dorado Task Force, Central Intelligence, every piece of paperwork to put every elite person in jail for real. Oh, it went up in smoke. And that building was so shaky that the BBC reported it went down 30 minutes before it did. But that's just coincidental.
They were reporting it failed, and it was still I mean, it's just, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just seeing people that don't do their research. They don't either they don't have the time. I don't think they want to know. I think a lot of people are scared, and I understand that.
Because if you do know, your life changes forever. You can't know the truth of this world without doing something about it.
Once you see, you can't unsee it.
Ever. You can't unring that bell.
You can't.
Ed
but you can't.
Ed Tuzzi's saying that Bill Cooper warned you. Strangely enough, on Richie from Boston and RFB2, Bill Cooper behold a pale horse. I had the audio book up on both channels, been up for like a year. Both of them got pulled the same day, just out of the blue. So that was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird. ODD did a good job. Did you see his video?
Yeah, ODD, he did a
killed
great
it.
He
killed it.
He does great work.
We've been working him for years, and he finally said, "I am not getting the mark of the beast. This is revelation." He laid it straight out.
And that's what I was talking about. I didn't want to mention a name per se.
Oh, my bad. Never mind. I meant.
That's what I was saying. There's people that they were on the fence. Now you start seeing Nicholson ain't so crazy. Richie from Boston ain't so crazy, and other YouTubers are not so crazy. And and there is a creator, and you can say you don't believe in that, but it doesn't matter because the enemy believes it, and they're doing what they're doing right now, putting things in place.
Speaking of that, you sent me a text earlier. I can't share it right this minute.
Oh,
you sent me a picture of. You sent me a picture of
your favorite.
Come on, man.
What's her name? I can't say her
Marina
name.
Abramovic. On the 10th of April, she was brought out by Microsoft, and it amazes me. I said, Bill Gates brings out a straight up evil witch
spirit
to show everybody another way so you can live forever. You'll never be forgotten. And people are like, what's Bill Gates got to do with Microsoft? And I'm like, my people perish for lack of knowledge. Like, you don't know that Bill Gates, the vaccine guy, actually owned Microsoft? Like, seriously?
Yep, they don't.
She's a great representation of Ishtar. Did I hit that or not?
You hit it right on.
Because it was right before Nick. I went, dude, that's Ishtar. She's in the black circle, just like at CERN. Dude, unbelievable.
And they took that trailer down. I think you're one of the few that have a copy of that. The Microsoft HoloLens.
It had like 400 thumbs up on Microsoft's channel and like 10,000 thumbs down.
Yeah, they took it.
10,000 thumbs down.
Yeah, I think they took it down.
I think I still have an original copy. If you need it, I'll send it.
Yeah. So tell people that don't know who she is, if you don't mind.
Marina Abramovic. She came out years ago with something called Spirit Cooking. It popped up out of the blue. And they're showing this. She's doing art. They disguise all their pedophilia, all their black magic, all their Satan worship. They disguise it as art.
Yep.
She had an inanimate dummy, a golem made of clay in the corner while she's writing on the wall. She's writing with a big jug of urine, menstrual blood, human feces, sperm, breast milk. She's writing on the wall. In the morning, take your fresh sperm and cut your middle finger, etc. She's writing a literal spell for everyone to see. And then at the very end, she throws it all on the golem to reanimate it. It's insanity. and now Bill Gates is snuggling up with this woman who's been with Jay-Z, Beyonce, all the movie stars where they eat cake and such that is literally a human. It's unbelievable.
Lady Gaga,
all of them. Check this out, Nick.
Did you see the picture? Can I screenshot? I mean,
Which picture? This one?
Wait a minute, hang on.
The picture of Dr. Fauci with the Rockefellers, George Soros.
No, I didn't see that one. No, the little.
He's with the Rockefellers right here. This is an old picture. This is all over the internet right now. This Dr. Fauci is no joke. He's already written in the New England Journal of Medicine back in February. He wrote that COVID was an incredibly mild flu, 0.09% death rate, no big deal. And then 2 minutes later, the whole country's got to get in lockdown for their own safety.
Yeah, and
I showed it to people, and I thought it was a smoking gun, and people were like, well, I don't know.
And you saw my video with him. I caught him with the hidden hand. Hidden hand.
I mean, this pick, he's definitely part of the club. He's been around for a long time. I forget all the names, but these are all the heavy hitters. And then the two media people, Barbara Walters and this guy with the giant forehead. But there's a couple of Rockefellers. There's George Soros right there with his really bad hair. And it's funny because they're all looking at the camera and someone else is snapping a picture over here and Fauci's looking right at him. Everyone's looking one way. Him and the other Rockefeller are looking the other way. He's part of the club, man.
Let me see. Can I share the screen?
Yeah, I think so. Go ahead.
All right. It says sharing.
This?
I don't know if
dude, that's it, right?
Yep, that's it. Okay, guys, look at this right here. That's what Richie was talking about. We were talking about Maria Abramovich right there. Guess who's standing to her side? Jacob Rothschild.
Is that the Rothschild that said, I wish I could come back as a virus and wipe out humanity?
Yep, that's it.
Nice.
But, okay, so then,
what picture is he in front of? That looks like a nice piece of artwork, right?
See the picture behind him, guys? Guess what that is? That's a painting. It's called Satan Summoning His Legions. Satan Summoning His Legions. And they just happen to be standing in front of it, guys. I mean, right. I mean, we can't make this stuff up. I mean, they're telling you something. I mean,
it's just a coincidence, man. You're just making things up. It's not like they got the whole world locked down under the guise of a deadly invisible killer.
Yeah.
Never mind. That was last. No, that is this week. Never mind. Go ahead.
So that was it. I just wanted to share that picture of that's the things that we're talking about that, we look for when somebody's just taking pictures or whatever that is. The elites, when I say elites, I don't mean they're better than it. I mean, there's a few.
No, we got to call them something, man. So he was in that picture with Fauci. That was Bill Gates Sr. Also in the picture with the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds.
Oh.
He was a straight up eugenicist, and so isn't Bill. But people don't seem to bother to know that. He wants people dead. He's talked about it in TED Talks numerous times. And his vehicle is always vaccines.
Yeah. And you got to understand
100% vaccination of the world.
Yep. And you got to understand, and we said it 100 times for people that are new or watching this or whatever. Elites speak a different language, guys. Symbolism, numbers, everything, dates, whatever. So when they're standing in front of something for a photo op, they're telling you something without telling you something.
Right.
That's how they communicate.
And symbols transcend all languages.
Yeah.
So you don't have to, you know what I mean? So it is a perfect setup.
Yeah. They're called logos for a reason. Logos, whatever. Notice that Christ in the Bible is named, he's the Logos. He's the true Logos. Notice that everything, all the logos, that's where that word comes from, the copy of telling you stuff. That it's a deeper dive on that, but Logos, 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 and then Christ is known as the Logos. It's deep stuff.
What do you mean? I don't know what that means, honestly. Christ is known as the Logos.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Let me see if I can pull it up.
Pull it up, yeah.
I'll try. Logos. It's not.
The Logos is God. Let's see. As the Logos, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
I got it.
Got it? Yeah. Logos.
Stand by.
Christianity. Read that.
Stand by. I think this is it, Nick. It might not be.
Christology.
Okay. In Christology, the Logos, Greek word, discourse, reason, is a name or title of Jesus Christ derived from the prologue of the Gospel of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, as well as in the book of Revelations.
Yeah. And in some version, he's known as the Logos. Yeah. So,
all right.
So you've got corporate evil America having their Logos anti.
And all their logos somehow magically are pyramids or something to do with satanic worship, evil, etc. Like, for instance, the power button on every electronic device literally is a demonic sigil. That literally is exactly how the boardroom of the UN is set up. So a subscriber sent me that the other day. I didn't know what he meant. So
yeah, it is. I mean, it is. It's logos, seals, the seal on the back of your. Notice it's called a seal. And notice in the Bible, when things in a seal are opened, things happen. And that's why on the back of your dollar bill, there's things in the seal that they want to pass.
Speaking of that, it just dawned on me as you said it. I'm putting this out there for whoever can think better than I can. They've never changed the dollar bill because the dollar bill shows the entire plan on the back. Always has. They've never changed the dollar bill. Now they're ready to go digital. Now they're ready to go digital means they're ready. That's another harbinger right there. I just dawned on me as you said that.
Yeah.
They can't get rid of the paper until the plan's ready. Well, now they're trying to get rid of the paper. They're trying every way they possibly can. Right. That gives them total, complete control over everyone, period. Social crediting, social distancing. It amazes me that in this country, social distancing didn't exist. 2 minutes later, it's a thing. Everybody knows about it. It's all over the place. No big deal. Nothing to see here, folks. It's just normal. Right. Social distancing is the most abnormal thing humans could do with other people.
No, yeah. Notice on the back of your dollar bill, the pyramid has a hovering eye. It's not completed. There's 72 bricks in that pyramid, 72. And I've always said, when we've asked people, elite, when you ask them a question, 66 add a 6, they say 666. 66 add a 6. The way we're taught is 66 add a 6, you get 72. So to the elite, 72 is almost equivalent to 666. It's same. So here's the thing. When they do away with this seal, when they do away with the cash, guess what? That will be completed. The temple will be completed. 666. What are we talking about? The mark of the beast is buying and selling. It has to do with digital currency. This right here is what's the next step. After that's completed, when the eye comes down and the temple is completed, and what's that temple? 72 bricks or 666? Mark of the beast. The next step is digital currency. It'll be completed. You'll have to take it because it has to do with buying and selling.
You and I did a video. We did a live stream where you explained that a long time ago. I'm going to see if I can't find it and re-upload it because you explained that ad nauseum. I remember that, brother.
Yeah. And Solomon, I told you earlier, Solomon, all of the elites worship Solomon, some form or fashion. It doesn't matter. Illuminati, Rosicrucians, Skull and Bones, especially the Freemasons. Remember I told you the lesser keys of Solomon. They figured out how to manipulate things through sound. And there's 72 lesser keys, 72 again. They know stuff about frequencies and tones and how the body, how it interferes. Think about this. Right now, a normal person, just say, for instance, communication with the Creator, it's a frequency. It's a two-way street, okay? If you mess with that frequency or a radio wave and you interfere and put stuff in the body that jams the radar that you can't hear from the Creator clearly, you understand what's going on, folks? 5G, all of the technology around you, metal in your body, metal affects frequencies too.
You remember the video we did and some artist and the mainstream was pushing this. Like, look at this amazing art. This guy literally put color to Wi-Fi so that if you could actually see it.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, it's beautiful. Look at the entire room with your children are surrounded by swirling red, blue, purple Wi-Fi. This is absolutely insane how they have thrown the residents of the earth, of us, of children, of everybody off. It's amazing. You can see it in the sky if people ever looked up, which they don't, because that's crazy. There's no reason. It's not like there's going to be signs of the sun, moon, and stars. There's no reason to look up. My cell phone's not up there. It's right here.
Right.
What they have done is brilliant. You got to give it to them. You got to give it to them, because I guess if I was talking to evil entities that once stood next to God as he created everything, and they can't do it, but they can tell you how, I bet I'd probably come up with a good idea too. But I don't come up with very good ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not the best idea person.
And we've talked about that before. Where do you think all this technology is coming from? Where do you think all these crazy ideas? It ain't just smart guys, people. It's beyond human. It's right there. D-Wave, CERN, everything.
It's just a coincidence that the name D-Wave spells demon. It's a big black monolith. It's like worshiping at the foot of an alien god.
Yep.
It's all just coincidental talk. It's all Freudian slips. No big deal.
Oh man, and then remember Jody Rose? You showed a picture of him lately. He was aged 20 years,
and he's wealthy. Wealthy people stay young looking. You know what I mean? Till they get to be 3,000 like Soros, and they look like an old Great Pyrenees dog. You know what I'm saying? But he looks terrible, man. He's been playing with demons. You can tell.
You can tell, man. And that's no job, man. That is crazy. Yeah. I mean,
screen.
Gordy Rose, whatever.
So when do you think your video is coming out?
I've got to do some speaking to it. My mic is not really good. I mean, my last one I did with Tom Hanks kind of thing, the mic was not very good. I may take it down and redo it and put it back up if I can, if I have time. But I'm thinking in maybe probably this weekend I'll get it accomplished, and I just, some of the stuff I spoke about tonight, I just want to show, about digital currency, things of that nature, the way people are speaking, global citizenship, I'm trying to do a 40,000 foot view instead of just, here, just kind of do that. So I'll probably by the end of this weekend, but it's hard because, man, you know where I work. It is nuts. So still.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Imagine.
It's Nicholson1968.com and Nicholson1968 on YouTube. He's a legend. He's been here longer than anybody.
I wouldn't say that, but
I would. So you don't have to. It's easy.
I appreciate it. I mean, I really appreciate all the
everything smart I said. Nicholson texted to me first, usually.
So
I think smart. I said like in the last 10 years, I've said like seven or eight smart things. I cannot breathe. It is dry in Wisconsin.
The other thing I wanted to, the other video I'm kind of working on is, you remember we talked offline about when you die, where do you go right away? That one has
That's really going to piss people off. You go straight to heaven instantaneously. Everyone knows that.
One, man, so many people. Let me just tell you this. I've only met one subscriber. This is going to probably blow you away. I've only met one subscriber in real life in my all these years. Only one person. I took him to lunch. His name's Mike Delaney. Good guy. And I took him to lunch. Good guy. Plays the piano at a hospital. Just really good. And one of the first things he asked me, really good man of God, he asked me about that. And that's one of the few things I try. Not that I don't try. It's just I don't touch because it is so indoctrinated. So it's like the rapture. You mentioned the rapture. You mentioned certain things, man. It just lights people up, man.
Big time.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. It's amazing you keep hitting on things that me and Mike talked about. We took a long ride today. We talked about that, and I brought your name up. If God watched his only begotten son get brutally whipped with cat o' nines with hooks on them, spit on, humiliated, carry his own cross, crucified, pierced, and left to die. And he didn't pull him out. You think he's going to pull me and you out?
Right.
Seriously.
That's not the character. Character of God never changes. If you're a Christian out there and you believe in the character of God, it doesn't change. He didn't save Noah. Noah had to do something. Noah had to build an ark. Joseph, he had to do everybody. Look it up, man. They had to do stuff in concert with him. That's why it's called faith, and you have to trust that faith. Unfortunately, sometimes I don't like that, but that's who he wants in his kingdom. That's who he wants in the kingdom. The next step. That's who he wants. He's not playing this time. He did it with water and flood. He's going to do it with fire this time, and he has to make sure, and it's brilliant in a way because the enemy thinks are scaring. See, that's why you got to, look, man, they thought they were winning by crucifying Jesus Christ. And no, guess what?
Negative.
That was his plan. I got to die, folks. And then the enemy just blew up, man. They didn't know how, they just don't know how to handle that because that was part of the plan the whole time. And what's happening right now is part of the plan, whether you like it or not.
Here we go.
The enemy is being used right now for look, here's the thing. People are getting scared. What are we talking about? Me and Richie there's a lot of people now turning to God. They're actually opening the Bibles now. They're doing videos. Guess what? About Mark of the Beast, possibly. See, people that didn't want to go down that road. See. So
it's good. Undeniable right now. Go ahead. That's all. I just want to say that.
It's undeniable. And the people that are going to wake up, this last push are going to wake up, and those that don't. That's just the way it is. But think about this. And what I'm going to say is, and this sometimes people disagree with this, but you don't know the light without the dark.
At all.
Yeah. Unfortunately, think about it. It's like being a spoiled kid. If you've never been through hard times.
I'm hip. I'll tell you what, Nick, my entire life, once this started, everything just started to make sense. Just like so many people are looking at this happen going, Walmart is a FEMA camp. It's a FEMA processing center. Walmart dropped right into step right away. You're not allowed to buy these things. They dropped the carriages. They put up the tape, armed security guards. You can go in 2 by 2. Don't stand too close. Man.
Yep, that's it, man.
All sorts of stuff popped right into line right off the bat. It's like, holy cow. And we're going to see technology we have never seen before. They're going to pull out all the stops. It's actually getting fairly predictable.
Yeah.
But they're going to change that. This guy, real quick, why don't you start organizing protests? This is accomplishing nothing. Well, here's one thing for you. Have you, I Am Veritas, in the last 29 days reached over 10 million people? Because I have. My problem is it's kind of hard to organize protests when people are still giving you every excuse in the world why what you're showing them isn't real.
Right.
So how are we going to protest when people are sitting in their houses?
Now you see what
I can't get people to even agree on what this is. It's Trump. It's Trump. Q is a military psyop. The powers that be that built the internet, the internet belongs to them, that are using the internet right now. I'm aware they're using what we're saying, what they're saying, but it is what it is. What else can we possibly do? Organize. I can't get 3 people in a room together because they're afraid they're going to violate social distancing. You know what I'm saying? Here's my email right here. If you've got a plan, if you got something that makes sense and I know who you are, I'll listen.
Yeah,
me and Mike have a plan. We are organized.
Yeah,
it ain't going to end well for Richie and Mike. We're already aware of that.
Yeah, so things that didn't make sense are things that worked years and years ago. It don't work here. Like people come to me and they're like, Nicholson, why don't you open up your own church? Think about this. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, look at this. I have over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have over 250,000 followers on Nicholson, the website.com.
Nicholson1968.com.
Right. So if I go and open a church, How many people am I reaching? Possibly 10,000, maybe 5,000. And right now I can't even reach that because they ain't even open. They won't even let you in. So,
which is what's amazing to me, because I'm watching Christians that are claiming, Richie, we see this for what it is, blah, blah, blah. I went to church this weekend for Easter, of all things, for Easter, sat in the parking lot and listened to the pastor preaching on a radio station.
Yeah.
That's absolutely, completely, and totally insane. The fact that these people are laying down these laws, let me tell you what, God put all of us on this earth. I've said it numerous times. I completely do not agree that God went through all this trouble to make this place, give us dominion over this, create us for us to wake up, go to work, pay taxes, watch TV, and die. I've said that the entire time, and I don't live my life like that.
No.
Here's the deal. They're laying down these, they're just having fun with it now. Oh, you can't, you go to a supermarket, it's got to be one way. Don't stand 6 feet close to each other. You got to cover one eye. You got to wear rabbit ears. You got to dress in pink.
Yep.
Don't do what they say. And the people that enforce these, the stadies, the police, the sheriffs, anybody that's enforcing these laws, you are making yourself the enemy of the people that were created by God to live here freely. There's no other two ways about it.
Yeah,
you are modern-day Nazis, and you are going to make yourselves the enemies.
Right.
The guys with the badges are the only ones that have any juice to actually slow this down, and some have tried.
Yeah, Christ says, he says, I was hungry, and you didn't feed me. I was thirsty, and you never gave me a drink. People, like you said, the state troopers, enforcement, by you holding us down
for these ridiculous asinine,
you're the enemy of the Creator.
Period.
You really are. You really are.
We have every right to be here. James Corbett wrote a letter to the future, which broke my heart to the point that I read it poorly because I suck at reading stuff like that. But he's already seeing it for what it is. This is amazing that they're allowing this to occur. And people still think about the unemployment rate would be almost 90% if all the government was out of work. But the government's got, 2.5 million workers for it right now?
Yeah.
They're going to be swept aside as soon as they're done with them too. This is not somebody. This is a liar from the very beginning, a murderer from the very beginning.
Yep.
It's either we stand together as humanity or we fall. And if you can't stand in your faith, you can't stand at all. You know what I mean? I have all the faith in the world that what I'm doing right now is right. And it doesn't seem like it. It might look like it's a kamikaze thing, but
no,
I ain't going down like that.
Yeah, and I'm going to speak to. Christ also had said something too. Is you remember Jesus was around his disciples when he came, and he told them. He says, "I got to die," and Peter jumped up and said, "No, I won't let them kill you, Lord. I'll protect you." And Jesus says, "Get behind me, Satan." He just called Peter Satan for a reason. And there's a reason. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's a little bit long, but this is not where we're supposed to be. Jesus does not want to be in the physical realm here. He has to die to show us something, to get to the next level. The enemy wants to keep you here in a physical realm because right now this is, unfortunately, Satan's realm, because Satan took Jesus up on the high mountain, said, "Bow before me, I'll give you the kingdoms of this world." And nothing has changed, folks. Christians, look, nothing's changed. Trump is not a Christian. Putin, they're all Luciferian. They're all satanic, period. I'm sorry if you don't believe that. But where I'm going with this, let's go to depopulation. If you look at it from a man standpoint, you're going to say, oh, maybe there's possibility. There's so much population. We were just overpopulated. But if you look from the Creator's eyes or the mind of Christ, what you're saying is God created a world that he just didn't make it big enough for all people.
Right.
It's that simple. That's how common sense is. Think about that. I don't care how many documentaries you see on overpopulation. It's BS. It's all against the Creator. It's all against the Creator.
We were talking outside. I told Mike straight up, I have been watching, and I'm not going to, everyone's going to say it goes back to Vietnam or World War II. There's one subscriber that said, I've been interrupting you too much. How dare I talk on my channel? What a dick I am, right? Unbelievable that I would say words on my channel. I'll try to stop that in the future.
Shame.
Indeed. In the last 10 years that I can straight up attest to, I have been watching somebody or something methodically, systematically, and effectively destroying all of God's creation, including us. This is without a doubt a spiritual battle, because whoever knows how to block out the sun every day perfectly, that's amazing. Why don't they use that on Earth? But they don't, because it's not the deal that they made. This is all coming to pass right in front of our faces. It is unbelievable, and it's amazing. Why don't you get people together? Because you can't even get people. They're doing this so they can arrest the pedophiles. Trump's draining the swamp. We're going to war with Venezuela, so we all have to stay in our houses for a month. None of it makes sense. People won't see this for exactly what it is. Look up COVID-19. Talk to an actual doctor that doesn't make his living from the CDC or the mainstream, and then learn that there is no such thing as airborne. It doesn't work like that. Viruses come from your own body. Do you see what I'm saying?
If it was, I could be a terrorist and get the virus and go to a massive building, get it in the air duct, and I'm done. I'm wiping you all out. If it was that easy, come on, guys, just think. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not any smarter than anybody. It's just I've chosen to.
But you have quite the expertise in this particular area.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so there's that.
There's that.
You know,
and, I mean, I wish, I had answers for you, what you should do or whatever. But the only thing that I can tell you is you need to believe in a creator and his son, Jesus Christ. I know that sounds maybe cliche, but really that's the only truth I'm seeing right now. That's the only thing I'm seeing. The Bible is laying it out. I'm seeing it. We've been seeing it. It's all there. It's just the churches have been infiltrated for so long. Their teachings, they're teaching
501c3.
Yeah,
and there's a lot.
You either believe now or you're going to hell.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
And see, here's the thing. Look, if you're a father, do you want your son to come to you out of love, or you want him to come to you because if you don't, I'm going to whip you, or I'm going to put you in hell? See, that's not how God works. God does not work that way. And I'm going to probably do a video on it. But when you start looking at that, God is not about fear. He's not a fear. That's scriptural. And he wants you to come to him because you love him. And that's why he gave us free will. People say, why don't he just get involved here and all this? Look, he gave mankind free will. That's what he said. And he's not going to, he lets it run its course. If he's giving you free will, men make that choice. Evil men make that choice to listen to the principalities on high in Ephesians 6:12. That's what's happening, folks. It isn't just God hates us and he's putting a COVID. That's another thing we've heard, that God has sent this pandemic. Right. No, man has sent this pandemic.
Right. If God sent the pandemic, you'd see it. It wouldn't take this long, and you still haven't actually seen.
Yeah.
Richie, I had 4 people in my family die. Really? Because if you send me proof of one of them dying, I'll back up everything I'm saying. Crickets.
If God sends a pandemic, it don't matter if you hide in your house, or in the ground, in a cave. It don't matter.
Not at all. So
that's what it is. So.
All right. I'm going to let you off the hook. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours, I see.
Oh, wow.
But I do have a question for you. I'm gonna start you, and I'm gonna run to that fridge and get a drink because my mouth is dry like Wyoming deserts, which are actually covered with snow. The Pope not using the Vicar of Christ anymore, and then allegedly the Pope disappearing while saying a prayer. I'm gonna say that was green screen or blue screen. Oh, dude, thanks. What do you make of that? If that's even accurate? The Pope allegedly stopped using the Vicar of Christ, which is wrong anyways, isn't it?
It is. And
And
I
he's
think
using his name George Bernholio or whatever it is.
yeah, I mean, I think he is the false prophet. I, I was kind of pushing, now I'll tell you this, Rome is not Babylon. America is Babylon. Sorry. That's just, people just want to go.
I'm going to have to go with America for 1,000.
Because scripture says Babylon sends off its mighty men to fight all over the world. Sorry, folks. Church of Rome don't have mighty men, and they don't send them off to fight. The only country in the world that has military bases every place just about is the good old United States.
Yep.
And, I'm all about veterans. You're a veteran.
Oh, I hear. No, dude. You know how bad it broke my heart to watch my fellow Americans completely get told a scary story, run in the house, and dude, it's been over a month and it's still going. Still going. It's amazing. The information, all of it, to discover on your own that none of this is real. As a matter of fact, it can't be real. Is all up, but nobody's looking. They're just following Trump and making up every excuse in the book because Americans got lazy.
Yeah, yeah, and that's and the world got fat off. That's another part of Babylon is the world gets fat off Babylon. And think of all of the stuff of all of the other countries that we don't do anything anymore. China does everything for us. Saudi Arabia gets all the oil. There's oil here, folks. Yep. There's oil here. They just not drilling. Come on, look it up.
And we don't even need oil, but let's you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. So
it's a whole nother ball game, but still.
Yeah, but Pope, going back to the Pope, I believe that this Pope could be the false prophet, Antichrist. I'm not sure on yet. I don't know. I mean,
I just figured I'd ask real quick. No worries.
Yeah. I'm not. Nothing's really. I mean, people have been saying. I try not to get down that road because I'm that's not me. I'm just kind of looking for other things. But
there's a lot going on. But I mean, I didn't even bother with the presidential seal thing until that woman put that video together, and when I combined that with the Secretary of the Interior telling the Indians, hey, that trust is a trust. And a trust between the U.S. and the Native Americans and their reservations is kind of what we built the country off of. Now they're pulling it back. They're going for this. So that's kind of had my attention. But Trump is going to keep reeling them in. Time's going to go by, and nothing's going to get better. It's going to get worse unless a miracle somehow happens. And I don't see how. I said it in the last live stream we did before this whole thing broke off. Americans, my grandparents, their parents, they were always very reluctant to go to war. These scumbag elitists tricked Americans into cheering like USA. We just invaded another country and we're killing hundreds of thousands. God doesn't dig that, man, at all. And then just transgender. Transhumanism. Everybody's gay. The children are transgender. He's looking down, shaking his head, going, I'm right here the whole time, and you guys are going every direction but me. You come to me when it suits you. So
yeah, and that's the whole thing I've said too. The enemy's the third person in the room, folks. He's in the corner. He's poking the stick at both sides. When we're fighting human against, and this is what I'm saying, human against human. I don't care. Take this Muslim stuff out, Christianity.
Right.
I get it. It's human against human. That's what they want. The true enemy wants humans to fight humans.
Wow, are we good at it?
And we are. It's noticing the third person in the room. And that's why they have to do away with any kind of religion, Jesus Christ. There's no Satan. There's no God. Because guess what? If you believe in stuff like that, you'll start understanding the third person in the room. I call it third person in the room. And the one game, and you know it, Richie, the one game is a battle for the temple of God. And we're the temple. That's it.
Without a doubt.
And the end game. So, and how to get to the end game, they're doing it perfectly right now. And they're going by agenda. More control, more technology, messing with genetics, and understanding the days of Noah returning. It all plays into that, and it's coming to pass. I wish it wasn't this fast, but it is. wow, I didn't know it was going to be just
Not like this. Not like this. Grant Stevens just left a really good comment. That's a good comment. It's hard to answer prayers when nobody's praying to you.
Yeah, it's true.
It is.
Yeah, that's a good point. And nobody takes the time anymore. Everybody's in a hurry, quick.
I make the time and I bother Mike, and I feel like a dick about it, but I'm like, Mike, you didn't forget to pray today by chance. And I'm always like, I don't mean to sound like that, but don't forget to pray. Don't forget to pray.
But notice this. Okay, I'm going to say this. Nobody likes being in stay at home, whatever they want to call it. But notice what's happening. You're at home, and if you're not working, this is your time. You see what I'm saying? God is kind of working here, folks. You
I'm hip.
you can look at the bad part of it, but you had excuses before. Okay, now's the time.
I'm so glad you said that, because I haven't thought to say that once. Not like that, but you're absolutely right.
Turn off the TV.
I've hit my knees, brother. I've hit my knees just like you told me 2 years ago, and I do it as earnestly as I possibly can. Don't let me deceive. Don't let me, you know what I mean? Mike can attest. It's nice to have a witness for this. He sees all the information. I'm like, I can't run that. I can't. I can't prove that. And it is actually fear porn. I'm just showing you what's coming through real people that we've known for years. So
yeah, I mean, and you look at a lot of things. Things I'm looking at too. The coronavirus, crown is a crown. They're going to do a vaccination against it. A crown in your body is it? You see what I'm saying? The enemy crown in your body, not the crown of Jesus Christ, that kind of thing. But I mean, just all kinds of symbolism that is so deep of how the demonic work. And think about this: the demonic wants bodies; they want hosts. Think about it. When someone becomes possessed, the demonic wants a body, a physical body. Understand it. Why does the demonic want a physical body? Because it's the temple of God. They want in that temple. They can't, you see what I'm saying? And that's where it's going, is trying to get the God DNA out of us, pretty much, our creation to change, and the whole makeup of a DNA determines a human, and a DNA determines a beast. And there's a fine line between that DNA to determine which is which. So a human has free will, per se, of thinking, but a beast really doesn't. That's why you can control a beast to a certain degree. So.
Oh, here we go. I'm not sure. I love the live streams where there's a lot of people watching, dude. There's a lot of people. We hit 10,000 last night in the live stream, which freaked me out. But Bill, BB, RFB, the year is not 2020. The year is 5993. Open your eyes. Well, Bill, I'm not sure if you've ever heard any video that I've ever made where I say, hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's 4/14, the year 2020. Or at least that's what they want us to believe. Yeah. You see what I'm saying, Bill? At any rate. Nick, we've been doing this for 2 hours. That was phenomenal. I really appreciate it too, man.
Appreciate you having me on. Sorry, sometimes I'm busy.
No, it's all good. It's all good. No worries, brother. You do what you got to do. It's all good. There's no need to make any excuses for what's going on right now. This is insane.
I want to leave you with this. I want to say something.
Have at it, man. Guys,
I want to thank Richie from Boston, because a lot of people, I know somebody in this chat said, let Nicholson talk. But sometimes things come to me through other people, not just the Holy Spirit. Subscribers share things. They have no idea what I'm working on, but whether they know it or not, God shares things with them and shares it with me. And then I do the videos, because they're not good. They say I'm not good at videos or whatever. Same thing with Richie is, over the years, our relationship has really, really grown, friendship. We've never met in real life, that kind of thing. What he has done in the last 2, 3, 4 years without nobody's paying him to do this. They're not. I mean, yeah, he's had some sponsors. He gets some donations. I get it.
Not anymore. This is all for country.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I just want to thank you personally for stepping up and doing that, because without a Richie from Boston, you're not getting, like some people's not going to agree with everything that I do. Not everybody's going to agree with Richie, but Richie's bringing stuff to the table to look at. So everybody else, if you're not doing that, then you shouldn't comment. Richie's bringing stuff to the table for us to look at and see, and question and research. And that is great. And I wanted to say thank you personally. I know I have, on the phones or whatever, but publicly, I want to say that
No,
you have been help years.
It's all good. It's all good, man. You know the deal, man. I'm not going to get all teary-eyed because I might. I don't want to do that. That would suck.
Yeah. So
But we're at a real crossroads here, people, and I don't see it ending well. But here's the deal: I have no fear of this. I'm ready for it to not end well, and I'm actually we've been pretty much. They're hiding things. We're showing the address. You know what I mean? They're ordering things clandestinely, and my subscribers are like, "Here's the order form. They shouldn't be doing this." We've been kind of ratting them out. So at 2 a.m, if the house starts to suddenly shake because there's a Black Hawk coming down,
we know who wins in the end.
That's all there is to it. And we weren't supposed to be here forever. And we've said it before. The way it's been going, even if this didn't occur, the way they can literally push all society around us, it wouldn't be for me anyways. I can't live in a place where people think it's okay for their 5-year-old to become another set. God's watching at all times. At all times, God is watching. And we have Planned Parenthood is an essential business. You bet it is.
Yep.
God's watching.
Confusion in the temple of God. If you don't know who you are in Christ, and other than I'm a woman, I'm a man, and I'm sorry, I can't get on board with that.
Me neither.
Look, you just, I'm not going to go down there. I'm not homophobic. I'm just saying that's not right. It's just not right. Sorry, it just doesn't.
There's a reason that the YouTuber Rise went to the desert. He went to Sodom and Gomorrah, and he found all the evidence that exactly what the Bible said happened. God does not like sodomites, man. You might be, I'm gay. I'm a lesbian. Well, everything wasn't based on sex. You know what I'm saying? That's all this is. It's all this. I had to pray to take away lust, and that was lame. Lame.
Think about Jude 1:6, where, it all goes back to the fallen angels who went after strange flesh in a sexual way, that of Sodom and Gomorrah. They fell, and they've got a special judgment coming for them in hell called Tartarus. So that's the whole thing. It's from the beginning, is each in his own kind and each in its own way is supposed to do. You get outside of that, it's an abomination. Angels are not supposed to mate with humans. That was the whole part of fallen. That's why it says in the Bible too, in Corinthians, don't you know you will judge angels? Well, we're not going to judge good angels. We're going to judge bad angels, and you better figure out why we get to judge bad angels. It's because they fell and they did something. They messed up this realm. They messed it up. DNA mixing humans with animals, the days of Noah, all that stuff. So you're not taught that. And I'm going to say it again on this live stream. If you don't think what I'm thinking I'm talking about, the story of Noah with loading the animals on the ark, you've been told all your life, every little children's book, it's 2 by 2. That's not true. Read Genesis 7. It'll tell you the story of Noah, how he loaded the animals. He loaded 7 pairs of clean, 2 pairs of unclean, because he didn't know how long he was going to be on the ark. So he brought more clean animals to eat. There's a bigger story behind that. And most people, when I tell them that, even preachers, are like, 7 pairs of clean out. They've never seen it in their life. It's called laziness. Research.
You told me that a long time. We actually talked about that in a stream a long time ago.
Yeah. Genesis.
I find it strange that out of all the angels, Azazel seems to be the one that gets frowned upon the most, and that's the one that introduced war.
And abortion.
War, shields. Yep. Not even the ones that slept, you know what I mean, that created Nephilim. He seems, I was in the middle of really, really following that, and then this happened. I was in the middle of actually living my life. I was actually starting to enjoy making videos about birds and everything else. And then this happened. Like, this sucks. This sucks. But you nailed it, because if you don't want to sit in the house for the last month in the United States of America, people with the internet running as good as it possibly can, and research why these people are lying to you, and at least know that, at least crack your Bible. At least crack your Bible. Seriously, because it's going to matter. It's going to matter. There's going to be a decision. It's going to be for all the marbles.
It is.
For real.
A lot of people say they don't understand the Bible, whatever. I'm telling you, if you go into it wanting James 1:6, he that want knowledge, he'll give it. He'll help you understand. I mean, I would read Genesis 7. I would read Genesis 6:4, speaks of the fallen. You got to start understanding. So some of that, if you're really going to it wanting to know the truth, he'll reveal it to you. I don't care what you think that it's beyond me. No, look, I'm just a simple man. I don't have a college education. If I can do what I do, it's only because I want to. You have to want it. You have to. You can't just do this willy-nilly and it's going to come to you and figure it out. No, you got to want it. If you want in the kingdom, he knows. He knows who wants to be in the kingdom and who's just playing around, lukewarm.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you really look at it, the Bible and all the related books that actually play, it's the most interesting story ever. And we're literally watching it play out. I mean, it's insane. I didn't believe. I was one of the people when I first started. I always believed in God, but I never talked about it. I never actually started saying full armor of God till some unseen force started messing with me real bad every day, like it was on the clock, and it went away. But long story short, it's the most interesting story ever. My email is literally sitting right there. I can see it. You see that? What's your email? It's rjcjr10@yahoo.com. Email me more than 3 times in a row in your spam. Just saying.
All right,
at any rate, Nick. All right, brother. Sleep tight.
All right. Love you guys and love you. And
everybody.
Love you too, Mike.
Love you too, brother.
All right. I was just going to say, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys. Richie from Boston, Nicholson, 1968. Links will be pinned under the video. Burn them, download them, save them while you can. The internet's not going to be here for everyone for the entire duration. And we are out.